This is Literature in Pictures, and today I want to talk about the Before Trilogy by Richard Linklater with Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy. The Before Trilogy is celebrated for its authentic portrayal of love and human connection, unfolding in real time across 3 decades, as we follow the same couple at different stages of their life. Linklater's minimalistic style, natural dialogue, and long-term commitment to the characters create a uniquely intimate exploration of how relationships and people evolve over time. But let's look at each of the films individually.
I think this is Vienna.
Yeah.
You get a fear, no?
Yeah, what a drag. I wish I had met you earlier, I really like talking to you.
Yeah, me too.
In Before Sunrise, which kicked off this trilogy in 1995, never intended to be a trilogy, it is the spontaneous interaction between Jesse and Celine that captures us. It turns into a night of a lifetime for both that initially meet on a train and decide to spend the night in Vienna. Both get along great, but what made this night special is their agreement not to exchange contact information, for the night not to be ruined by the potential of their contact fading over time. What seemed like a great idea at first turned into immediate regret when they say their goodbyes at the end of the night, and they agree to meet there in Vienna again 6 months from that day. Fast forward to 2004. When Before Sunset is released, Celine finds Jesse in a bookstore in Paris 9 years later. He had turned their story into a novel and was now a published author. Both spent the next few hours together in Paris. We learned that Jesse had shown up in Vienna 6 months after they had agreed to initially. Celine did not. Both are riddled with regret over not exchanging contact information, over Celine not being there that day 6 months after. Jesse indirectly blames her for not being there. Celine indirectly blames Jesse for that first day, as it had ruined her romantic relationships that followed. But we also see the progression of their relationship. While they were openly honest with each other in the first movie, they now sneak in lies. Jesse lied about not showing up in Vienna. Celine lied about not having had sex with Jesse in the park in Vienna, or at least claims not to remember at first. The movie then ends with them in Celine's apartment contemplating their next move, their decision, and us not knowing whether they'd get together or not.
Baby, you are gonna miss that plane.
I know.
Again, fast forward another 9 years, 2013, Before Midnight. Jesse and Celine have been together for those past 9 years. They have kids, twins, because of course Jesse did miss his flight that day and stayed with Celine. He left his wife and kid in the US, and now we do see them together on vacation in Greece. We also learned that Jesse had turned the events of that second movie into a novel and wrote another one, so he made writing his career, focusing on the relationship with Celine, who in turn disapproves of being exploited to that extent. We see how their relationship has developed. They are holding grudges. They argue, interrupt each other, and they fight like probably every other couple does. Celine says she's done, wants to break up, but in the end Jesse makes up with her. A sobering view on what time does to what was once a romantic encounter. When they meet at the beginning of Before Sunrise, there's this couple on the train that keeps arguing in German, having a fight about all things in their relationship. Little did we know at this point that Jesse and Celine would turn into a similar version of that couple 18 years later at the end of Before Midnight. We see their future early on, and the trilogy is there to explain how you get from having a romantic encounter to those disagreements as a married couple. It is 2025 now, so 12 years later, we know there was no movie 9 years after Before Midnight, and we don't know whether there ever will be one. All 3 movies are great. The second feels like a segue, and whether there will be a 4th one, only time can tell. I'd probably want there to be a fourth movie, but only after 30 years or so later, not the 9-year gap. And obviously we skipped that 9-year gap already because it's been 12 years. But I think it needs a longer time span now to display and portray the acceptance that both have towards each other, a different kind of romance that develops over time, one that is not fueled by explosive emotions and constant fighting, but one of deep attachment, which would be the last phase of their relationship. Let's hope we'll all see that day that maybe in 20 years from now we'll get a fourth one, filled with melancholy of the Before trilogy that exists today. And with that, I say goodbye. That was my commentary on the Before trilogy. This was Literature and Pictures. Thank you for watching.